always had that something in you where you wanted to strive for better. So describe for me, what has your journey been like in life?
The journey it's been very hard because, I was on public assistance, so it was like, at first it was a boundary there. Anybody knows about public assistance, they don't want you to go so far or they're gonna cut it off.
When you describe yourself now, tell me, who's Freddie Stevenson, the man that you are now?
A few years ago, I remember in college, they would always have speakers come in and ask us who we are. I wouldn't have been able to answer the question. It probably would have had something to do with football, or fullback for Florida State, I want to play in the NFL. But now it's just simple. I'm Freddie Stevenson, man of purpose.
This is a passion of mine. The whole premise behind the Jazzie Conversations with Jazz podcast is to spotlight the fact that it is now time for you to get your dope comeback story.
Hey, say Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. Say Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. Jazzie Conversations with Jazz.
Every Monday, I call people into a studio and we dig into their comeback stories, because I know that we see people in their glory and we see people when they're on top, when they can have that silver lining to them, but we all go through some things, right? We all go through some things, and I think once we're real with people and we let people know the trials and tribulations that we've gone through, it only makes us human and it connects one of us.
So I just want to know, what would be your advice to someone who is looking to start their own podcast?
First and foremost, let me back up. Find your voice. What are you going to talk about? Is it something that people want to listen to? How long will your podcast be? What's going to be the consistency of your podcast? Are you going to do it like weekly, daily? Are you going to do it monthly? So once you find that, because that's going to indicate if somebody wants to listen to your podcast or not. I do know how I'm doing it. I'm doing it with God. I'm doing it because this is a passion of mine. And when you are passionate about something, you're not going to stop. So it really it comes down to how bad do you want it. It definitely comes down to how bad do you want it. Listen, welcome to the Jazzie Conversations with Jazz podcast, episode 136. I am your host, Jazz Bennett, mother, educational leader, of course, event and podcast host. And this is a fantastic Monday. I'm so glad that you guys are tuned in. I am so elated. I'm so humbled that you guys decided to tune in with me on this fabulous Monday, giving all thanks and praises to God for helping us to maneuver and make it through Hurricane Milton. We're going to talk about that and the effects that it may have had on my guest, on myself. I posted over the weekend, and just to try to keep, everybody up to breast, I had minor fence damage. I had fence damage. I don't know why I'm saying minor. I had fence damage and I had some damage on my porch. But other than that, we fared pretty decently. And I'm just so thankful for that, because it was such a scary experience. And I know you guys share that as well. And so I'm just happy that I'm here with you, sharing space on yet another fantastic Monday with you. You know that Monday is my favorite day of the week, because Monday is that day where you get to set new goals, where you get to accomplish new things. And so it's a new week, new goals, new victories, right? And so I am also elated because we are about 28 days out from the 3-year podcast anniversary live show for the Jazzie Conversations with Jazz podcast. I'm excited. You guys have been doing your big ones when it comes down to purchasing your tickets, and I'm so thankful for that. And so I need for you to make sure that you purchase your tickets today. Now, you may have missed that that flash sale that I had, but it's okay. It's okay. I don't know what's going on with my hat today. It's okay. It's okay because tickets are still available on eventbrite.com. You definitely can get your ticket there. So please make sure that you do so, whether it's VIP, whether it is general admission. You want to make sure that you are in the place to be on November 9th from noon to 5 p.m. at the Lakeland Well. We are going to be celebrating 3 years of consistency. We are going to be celebrating 3 years of a dream come true. We are going to be celebrating 3 years of having over 136 guests on my podcast. And we're going to celebrate definitely the power of the comeback. You know that I believe that you can come back from anything as long as you have 3 things, and that's God, the right resources, knowing how to use those resources effectively, and also your willingness to put in the work. With that formula, you definitely can come back from anything. And so, without further ado, I have a special guest for you guys. I have a special guest in the building. And without further ado, I'm going to bring him on. I have the privilege, the pleasure of seeing Mr. Michael Norado on the Jazzie Conversations with Jazz podcast. I am so happy to have you. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderfully well. I'm doing wonderfully well. I wanted to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself, and then I'm gonna tell you a funny story about how I was supposed to meet you a long time ago. And so you are a husband, you are a father, you are also a serial entrepreneur, and you are now an author. You
Yes.
have a new book out. The title is Keep Pushing Forward, and I absolutely love that title. I love everything that it represents. But Michael, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, I mean, my name is Michael Norado. I wear a lot of hats, just like you said, father, husband, serial entrepreneur, author is just my favorite. But strategic consultant, consulting and just kind of help people push the vision forward. And it's just so funny that like your podcast and my book,
Yes.
they as I'm learning it, it's just right there. I'm like, man, this is the sauce.
Yes.
This is the framework of what I do here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, we'll get into that, but it's just amazing. That's what I do mainly. We got a few e-commerce. Like I said, now I'm getting into the digital coaching. Consulting is more like digital and remote, but I finally have a digital product that's kind of online now that people can purchase, so that's what I do.
I'm excited. So I know that I did not reach out to you before. People say like people are watching you and then you never just know, how your name is being presented in rooms that you're not even in, like how people are being introduced to you and you may not even know these people. Well, someone introduced me to you a year ago, Michael, like straight up a
Okay.
year ago.
Okay.
Like, a year ago. I think I'll tell you off camera who it is. I don't think I want to tell you on camera who it is, but I'll tell you off camera who it is.
No problem.
So, he pitched you. He's like, yo, I want you to meet my brother. Like, he's just doing fantastic things. Because here's a funny thing. My sister met him and she's like, I want to connect you to because he has a perfect comeback story. But when I met him, he talked a little bit about himself, but he pitched the crap out of you. And I was just like,
I love it. I love it.
You. And it's like he kept promoting you in some kind of way because I was supposed to come to the relax room a year ago. Like I was supposed to come.
Yes.
You hadn't even built out everything in your plaza when he was talking about you. And I think that lesson just taught me because then it's like, since then I've seen you on other podcasts and it's like your name kept coming my way. And I was like, oh my gosh, like totally dropped the ball on that. And it just taught me a lesson that, yo, Jazz, you got to get better at connecting with people. Like this guy was placed in your lap like a year ago, but I truly, truly believe in divine timing.
Oh yeah, we here now.
No, we here.
We here. It's perfect time because it was waiting for my book to finish.
Look,
so it was like finish the book, then we can.
Let's segue
Mm-hmm.
into that then.
Yep.
And so I look at that. I'm glad you picked that up because I'm like, you know what? I say all of that, but I always go with divine timing. It's like it's some reason why we didn't necessarily connect back then, but it is definitely a purposeful meeting right now. And
Yes.
so I have been in your establishment with this, that, and the other. Like I've been there when they've had their live podcast.
Oh, let's
There.
go.
Yeah, I've
That's
been there, Michael.
that's awesome.
The only
Yeah.
thing I have not done, I have not made it to the relax room. And when I say that is on the top of my list, because
Yes. That
listen,
is the thing to do. That's like the icing on the cake. When
listen,
people actually, when you hear about it, it's one thing, and it's hard for me to say it because like nobody wants to hear it from the owner,
yeah,
you know. But when you hear other people speak about it, it's like, oh man, we got to go do this.
yes,
So yes,
yes, cooking, and I'm like, okay, so I got to do this, especially with this past hurricane that came.
yeah,
I ventured off into Orlando with my sister, and so like she's turned rooms into offices and all this other stuff. So it wasn't like a bed available, but she had blow up beds and couch beds and all of that. And I'm not about that life, but I had to resort to that life. And as soon as I got up, I was like, I need me a good massage, and I was like, I need to talk to Michael.
oh yeah, I got you.
I gotta
got
set up an appointment and we gotta make it happen. So
For sure.
I wanted to start the podcast off with just giving you your flowers because you are doing something that that's very inspirational. First and foremost, you're doing something that a lot of people haven't had the capacity to be able to do. And with you owning spaces in a plaza, like a whole shopping plaza, where it's almost like it's the Norado family plaza, it's like
Absolutely.
It's yours. You have 3 businesses there that started with a barbershop. You've gotten notoriety on the news, and so the tread is there. You're making waves. People are knowing who you are now. And I want to just say, how does it feel? Like, how does it feel to be at the state that you are right now, to see these fruits of your labor right now?
It's amazing. I really tell you, it's like when you think about the late nights, like everybody wants the stage, but it's like those late nights and the brainstorming and the vision boards and the notes that you find yourself writing multiple times through multiple journals and books. Like, I got to get this done. Like, those don't matter until this moment happens.
Yeah.
Like, until you see it through and get to this moment right here, it doesn't matter. So now, like, to actually walk through it, and I'm gonna tell you, honestly, like, I was excited about my book, but I never saw my book when I ordered my books, and I took one out just to look at it and say, hey man, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But my team and my family were setting up this space, the well where you're going to be at.
Yeah.
And they spread my books on the table. And when I tell you that moment, right, just to see them stack my books up side by side, and I'm like, those are my words right there. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of just put me in that moment to kind of just visualize everything and how everything is coming together. And it's really just the beginning. Like, I'm definitely grateful for the recognition and everything that's happening right now. But this is like a fraction of what the true vision is.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm going so hard and so fast, I would say, is because I'm on the way to that vision. And people, it's like, you can't, if there's $1 million in Tampa, you would walk barefoot to Tampa right now, and so that's how clear the vision. I know what to do now, so I can't sit still because it's attainable. It's right there. I've seen it. These types of things are happening all over the place. And to back up, like, we've been on TV like 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I only have 400 followers on Instagram. So this is not like somebody that's like, did something funny real quick and it took off. Like, how do I keep ending up on TV if it's not working? Like those private conversations that you're having, you know what I'm saying? If those weren't real and true, meaning I have to be on my A game every day, every person I come in contact with and I give to, and we, go back and forth, like, I have to make sure that that's reciprocated when, as we never spoke, but I'm pretty sure you got a good feeling of the person you're going to be dealing with. So that's not for and so now I'm like, man, I can't do this without the social media. So now I'm starting to gear that up,
Yeah.
to go with it and just to really spread that message further. You know what I mean? And it's just it's beautiful, man. To see my wife, my mom, my parents, like my family members to stand beside me. Like when I think about the Gary V's and the Patrick McDavids and all those big names and like their family, like how proud they are to be with those people. It's like I get to bring my team and my family with me, and they get just as much recognition as me because it's not a solo mission. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just I love it. I love everything about it. It gets me more excited, and we just gonna keep pushing that as much as possible.
I absolutely love that. So you got family on the payroll, like you like, look, this is your job. This is what you need to do.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like,
Absolutely. Some on payroll, and the other payroll is I got to cook for the rest. You know what I'm saying? So it works. It's a trade-off.
I like that because, family, and especially like your immediate family, your wife, your mother, those are people that it should be very easy to trust. So like that's the team that's someone that you call, or that's the group of people that you definitely can call your team. And so how important is it having a helpmate on this journey?
I mean, it's the key. I mean, you can only go so far by yourself.
Yeah.
It's not too many words to put that in. You can literally, as smart as I am, all the skills that I have two hands. And what I caught myself doing, hence the reason why I'm going in the direction that I'm going in, I feel like a security guard now, because yes, it's cool and flashy. I can go door to door and open up 5 different spaces beside each other, but I'm a security guard now. If I don't open the door doesn't open. You don't truly have a business unless that business is running without you, or you're just self-employed and you're probably bad at it. You know what I mean? And it's like, with you being self-employed and the boss, you're not going to fire yourself. So it's one of those things. So to truly grow, you have to find and hone in on those skills that you're good at, and that team can help. And when I say skills, communication, setting up, thinking on, like when we went to set up the space for the book launch, we set that space up on the spot. We didn't have a plan for this. We had a quick vision. This is what it looks like. Okay, it'll be good if we did, that's what you need. It doesn't, when I say skills, you don't need to have degrees and stuff. And people don't have to be, you just want people with a little experience and people that can think and pivot on their toes and be able to make it happen live. You know what I mean? And it's not about doing this is easy. Like, what happens if the stream goes down and boop? Okay, now,
right.
Are we going to cry about it, or are we going, okay, let's get this back up and go? That's the people you want on your team and how you want to move. So it's very, very important.
Absolutely. Talk to me about your inspiration for the book. So the book that you have, Keep Pushing Forward. What was the inspiration for it, and what is it about?
Okay, so we're going to give you a little backstory real quick. So Keep Pushing Forward is like, I'm telling you, just crazy reading your stuff. I'm like, man, this is my book. This is my book. That mission statement is my book right there. So Keep Pushing Forward it's not what will happen, it's when.
Okay.
And the context of, for lack of a better word, shit hits a fan, it will. Okay, anybody can go get an LLC. Anybody can start a podcast. Anybody can start a business. Anybody can try. I got tired of those conversations and saying, you get with your friends like, man, it'd be cool if Lakeland had a X, if Florida had a Y, if we did a this. Me and my wife, when we have those conversations, we add dates, we do the research, we sign leases, right? That commitment is there. And when I say keep pushing forward is 10 years ago, no, I'll probably say 12 years ago now, 2013. I would say that failure was not an option. And I was preaching that from the mountaintops, man, failure is not an option. You just can't fail X, Y, Z. And I was rudely awakened about 5 years ago was when I really just kind of felt this. And I do have a mentor also. So I do have people pouring into me as I pour into other people. And it came to me that failure is an option.
Yeah.
And it's the first one, and you should seek it. And if you're not failing, you're not even trying. You need to hit your limit. Imagine going into the gym every day and I get on the bar and I put 10 pounds on each side. I'm just like, oh, I'm killing every day. I'm tired. I'm killing it. But until you get onto something that you're struggling with, 1, you're not really using your muscles. 2, you don't know your limitations. Yeah. And you don't have a goal to set. So, okay, I hit 2 reps today. I want to go hit 3 reps tomorrow. So without maxing out, you never really truly get there. And sometimes it could be very devastating as far as the roadblocks that happen. But maneuvering those roadblocks gives you experience. And that experience, going back to the conversation of having with people like, oh, it'll be cool. You can only imagine how many friends man, when we talked about this, I wish I this. I'm pretty sure you have it when you started this. I wish, or we should have.
Yeah.
But win, lose, or fail, even if none of it worked, I got 5-6 years of history doing this stuff, being on TV, meeting the people, shaking the hands, doing the things, and that skill that's invaluable. You can't replay COVID. So imagine me, I bought my first business, which was the barbershop. I purchased it in 2019. 2020, the whole world went on timeout.
It did.
So I'm a fresh business owner now, and I used to only do like little online hustling here and there, buy things online, wholesale, we sell it, it makes money.
Yeah.
But COVID flattened the level. Like, COVID was life's wake up call. If you were in business, I don't care if you've been in 20 years, I don't want to hear it. If you haven't been in business past COVID, I don't want to hear anything. Everything is done a different way, and I just really had to lean in. And it's like, you have two options, grow or close. And I'm not a person to give up on my dreams. I'm like, the vision is right here. I have to make it happen. So what could I do to pivot? Yeah, I had plans for this, but this is what it's looking like. So we have to shift and make that happen. And and that's what really kind of birthed the book. I've gone through so much, and it's not a pity party. I'm not looking for any of that, but it is for inspiration and motivation. And it's gonna happen. Things are going to not work. And if everything is perfect, you need to look out, because there's something up with it being perfect.
Yes.
But it's just finding that energy to like, man, this failed on me 10 times, or this messed up 15 times, or I'm waiting for this permit. I got called for this person can't come in, this person quit, somebody messed up my business, I didn't do something. Whatever that looks like, it's gonna happen. But you have to be able to keep pushing forward. And we only talking kind of about business right here. What about your personal, kids, spouse, health? You know what I'm saying? So things are gonna arise, and I hear it every day, because again, I coach and consult. But people, like, what are you gonna do?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you truly gonna do? You're gonna give up? You're gonna, and when you start talking straight with people like that, it's kind of like a chin check. Like, man, I didn't expect. I kind of wanted a shoulder to cry on, but this shoulder is gonna cost you, and it's gonna cost you some change. We don't do crying for no reason. You gotta push through this. That's the only way that this situation will really matter, and for you to feel good about it here in the near future. So keep pushing forward, man. It's like, somebody has to do it. Why not you? That's the motto for it. And it's 13 chapters of greatness. And I got tips and tricks, and the idea behind it is to make you more efficient. It's not a business book. It's not a get rich quick scheme. I feel like everybody can't even handle a true business conversation. It's cute and it's sexy to have that, man. You never hired nobody. You never fired nobody. You never paid the taxes. You never been audited. It's so much that goes to it. Like, I don't even hear those conversations. You know what I mean? Like, get in it. If you're serious, get in it. But when that stuff do happen and crumble and fall, like, what are you going to do? So I just want to make you, these are principles, things that I personally use to grow over the years. And the objective is to make you more efficient with these tips and tricks, how to get you from A to B a little bit faster. And through that efficiency, if I can make you 30% more efficient, then with that 30% extra time that you may have now, you can try that new hobby, maybe attempt a business, start your podcast, start whatever that may look like. Because why would I, if I'm already redlining right now and I'm revving out, I try to add a business that has to work, which I've done. This has to work or else, because I can't do nothing else if this doesn't work now. But I chose to try to make this work right now when I'm already full. You know what I mean? Right. So it just makes you how to make you more efficient, and then you can try those things. So yeah, man, I'm super excited about that.
I love that. I love that premise. And I'm just one where I know that you are a magnet for a lot of people. A lot of people see what you're doing right now. They see the trajectory of your vision? Because I'm pretty sure on all of your platforms you say that this is not even it. Like you're wowed by these things, but we're probably still here, whereas you have so many things that you see in your head, that your wife sees in her head, that you've spoken to about with your mentor. And so I always wonder, like when I see people that they're like a magnet to me, and it's like, okay, this is a person that's doing what I want to do. I want to connect with this person. I want to pick their brain. I want to see what steps they took in order to get to where they are. What do you tell people? Like, I don't know if people think that there's a magic sauce, a magic formula to it, but if you had to explain it to someone that's just looking at you and they're just wowed by you, what is it? Like what is it that allows you to keep pushing forward, and not only pushing forward, but it allows you to continue to crush your goals?
Yeah. So first, I would say you must learn how to sell. And when I say sell, you must be able to sell yourself first on that dream, because I can't sell you something that I'm not truly. There's a reason why people speak the way they speak about me and want to be around me, because I am so sold on my vision. I don't need you to confirm my vision. If I tell my vision to you, I'm practicing my pitch. And as I was cutting hair, like I used to tell people stuff all the time, like, man, I think I'm going to open a smoke shop. I think I'm going to open a relax room. I think I'm going to try this thing, and I'm going to start writing a book. I'm going to do this, while I'm edging them up and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
And every single one of them has told me, like, bro, I thought you were just BSing. Like,
Right.
I can't believe that you really made this happen. And it always takes somebody to see it on a platform like this
Mm-hmm.
to give it flowers. Because if somebody else don't say something about it, which I truly understand it. So I would definitely say you need to marry it, because it comes with a commitment. When you decide to do better or step into a new direction, you yourself, not your spouse, not your family, nobody. And it's not for them to believe in. This wasn't a conference call.
Absolutely.
This is you. This is you. It's a personal thing. And with or without my wife, with or without my family, this is my mission. Now, I've orchestrated it to where I got the help, and I'm so blessed and grateful that I have them to support and help push it forward. But you must commit. We're not dating the goals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is not a one night stand with my goals. Like, I'm so excited. You see me post today. I did it.
Exactly.
And then how many people you see? I started school today. I did it. You don't see nothing else. So they're not serious. And when you're not serious with yourself, people won't take you serious.
Right.
So people got to see you. When I was doing my 4 a.m., my 4:30 every morning, like, man, this man, the first time it's cool. The second time it's like, okay, 3 weeks in, he's still doing this.
Right.
Why is he? You know what I'm saying? So that's step number one, is just marry and commit to that direction that you want to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, recruit the help, because this is 2024. And again, we all have a backstory, and I had a chip on my shoulder. I had something to prove. A lot of people, and you can use it now. When the people start doing a lot of this, you can use it to fuel it. I wouldn't say it affected me that much, but I just kind of use it as fuel. Like, okay, I'm going to shut you up. I'm going to shut you up. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you. So, but with it being 2024 right now, honestly, I'm going to be just completely honest. Like, partnering is the way to go, because they have strengths and weaknesses. You got strengths and weaknesses, and it could be the yin to the yang. And it's an uphill battle when you go by yourself. Why? If you get a side of the table, I get a side of the table, we can easily move this 10 times and keep it moving. So I would say marry it, commit, and then find that tribe of people that's vibrating on that frequency level that you're on, And you ever see people listen to rock and roll music at hip hop, or vice versa, or you don't listen to slow dance when it's time to go work out, right? Because slow dance is not going to get you in the mood to go lift this weight or run on this treadmill. The beat's too slow. It's not where it needs to be. So you have to start vibrating at that frequency, and it will attract. People will see that in you. And then the third thing I would say for me personally, because I was so busy, networking was a little bit challenging for me, simply because family, and like, we can't be out every night at every event shaking hands and stuff that we would love to do, which would help push the vision faster. So it helped me look inside, and how can I make it more of a wow factor? What can I add to my story? And that's literally how I do it. What can I add to my story that would just really make you kind of like turn your head and be like, he did what?
Right.
So when it came to the barbershop, we hand built every station. We polished the concrete ourselves. We never hired anybody to do any renovations. All the work's been done by me, my wife, and some people on my team.
Mm-hmm.
Smoke shop, our design, our vision, our build out. The relax room, the secret door, the everything that's going on in there, our concept. So I kind of reverse engineer and like, what could I create that when you step into my presence, you want to pull out your phone and record to say that you were there, not necessarily because of me. It's cool enough to say, like, check this out. Like when we go to Busch Gardens or we go to a theme park or something, it's like, oh man, look at this thing that's trendy right now, or look where I was. So I started watching those trends, and that's what I kind of reverse engineered that. So now, because I don't have crazy followers and I'm not on TikTok and all that stuff every minute, when you come and post on your story, and I'll tell you what, that's what happened. We did a Wild 94.1 Wild Splash ticket raid at the smoke shop a couple years ago.
Okay.
Once that was finished, I put the whole team for a private relax room session into the relax room because they were working all day. Just giving, because giving starts the receiving process. Would you know that just by them sitting in the chair and recording where they were at, I didn't tell them to, they were like, man, this is cool. Let me just show where I'm at. I got a phone call from Fox 13 the next morning. Hey, is this Mike? This is pretty cool, man. Tell me about this. I would love to shoot this. You mind going live? I'm like,
sure.
We can go live right now. Let's do it. So that's what laid those grounds, you know, and that's the direction I would tell people for sure to look into.
I'm sorry. Have you ever been in a situation, because what I'm listening to you, while I'm listening to you, I'm thinking myself. And so have you ever been in a situation where you just felt that, wow, like I really wanted to connect with this person, like you kind of missed it. You missed the value that I know that I have, because I'm getting up, like you said, at 4:00 in the morning. Like I'm writing the vision, I'm making it plain. Like I'm going hard at this dream all day, every day. And I know that it's going to happen. Like, has it been someone that you felt that just completely missed the opportunity to partner with you? I'll just leave it at that. Have you met someone that it's like you wanted to partner with them so bad, but it's like they kind of didn't see the value that you brought initially?
So me wanting them or them wanting to partner with me?
You wanting them, like you wanting.
Yeah, absolutely. It happens all the time. But again, like how much wow factor is out there about you, you know, and that's another reason why I'm going back and I'm trying to lay that foundation about who are you, what do you stand for, what are your core values. People need to know these things about you, or it needs to be on the internet where they can stumble upon it. Like, say you get on my page for the first time, what experience are you going to have in the first 4 swipes, right? So definitely, if it's countless people that I wanted to partner with or see they had the perfect sauce, but I wasn't big enough in their books yet, I would say. Now, they calling now. I'll tell you what.
Get a smile on my face, Mike.
Oh, they calling. Oh man. And it's but it helped me step my game up. You know what I'm saying? I have to just elevate, you know what I'm saying? Because then I took a picture, I had the mayor in there. They're like, bro, what are you doing? What's actually happening here? You know what I mean? Like, so it happens. It definitely happens. And it's like, it's we don't cry over spilled milk. We just keep pushing regardless. And you know, hopefully down the line, which most 90% has reached out like, hey, about that thing. Let's try that again. You know, but I just
remember that conversation we had.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to keep elevating to where that happens on rinse and repeat. You know what I mean? So doors are being opened. You know, we'll be booked out to do these things and keep pushing. So that's one of those.
I'm glad you said that, and I want to segue into what I consider my formula for a comeback. A lot of people, sometimes people don't feel that they actually have a comeback, because just like, you know, the OLL Cool J saying, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. And yes, you could be in a space for a certain amount of time, and you may not feel like you've ever fallen off, like you've never had to overcome something. And I don't think that people feel that they've never had to overcome something. I think that they feel that they've never fallen off. When I sometimes when I pitch the idea of what my podcast is about, I would say maybe 5% of people, like they give me kind of pushback with, I don't think I have a comeback story. Like I can't think of one. but when I pose this question, I'll say, so you mean to tell me that there's nothing in your life that you've ever had to overcome that you felt maybe almost broke you, and when you reflect on that, you really thank God for bringing you over that situation, because everyone has one, right? And so I even go back to, and I'm gonna bring someone that I know is near and dear to you. And how do I know that? Because of your book release. When I saw the footage there, Pastor Scott
Oh yeah.
always and by the way, he is like at the top of my list of I want on my podcast. Like I want to get an interview with him. Like I sit in church because I go to Free Life Chapel. I know I don't.
Nice.
You probably go to the early service. I
Oh
go to
yeah.
the later one.
Oh yeah. I need my Sunday, so I got to go there, give Jesus his time, and then we.
Listen, I'm so glad they added the 12:30. Now I'm not gonna go to the 12:30, but I
Mm-hmm.
can 45. It's the 11:45 one that they have now. And
Mm-hmm.
so I remember one Sunday just listening to him, and he was just talking about, I don't know what this situation is, and I'm pretty sure maybe if I researched it that I would, but he'll always talk about, sporadically he'll talk about like his time where he was being tested, or people were saying things about him and it was so invalid, etc., and just how he pushed forward in his faith, etc., and just came out on top of it. And so my first pillar to a comeback story, to a great comeback, is that you have to have God in your life. And so when you think about your comeback, what you consider to be your comeback, how important was having a strong foundation in your faith? How important was that?
I would say it's probably the most important thing, because you want balance. When you have a football team without a quarterback, like who's your MVP? Who's gonna be the one that makes it happen? And like, there's a lot of biblical principles that, whether you believe in God or not, and I firm believer, there's a lot of biblical principles that every business book out there teaches and preaches.
Yeah.
Without quoting the verses. So it's like, it's proven, because nothing that we're teaching is new under the sun. It's, I'm just giving a perspective, mine, and how I see it. And just to give you that aha moment, like, oh, this is valid for 2024 or
Right.
this era in time. We're not saying thou this, but, I give it to you in a certain way where you can understand it and digest it. So I would say that's a very, very big thing to have on your list. And I definitely look up to Pastor Scott too, because the way he leads his team. My first time stepping in Free Life, I sat back and I said, this is the best business model I ever seen in my life. The consistency, for them to show up every Sunday and do what they do every week, that is not something to sleep on. And that's coming from a business owner that attempted these things, and it's like, to just have anybody on the same page for a month. You know what I mean? So there was a lot for me too. And I cut Caleb's hair.
Okay.
So I cut plenty of people in the church hair. So they're all family to me. And I just get it from different angles. And it's just to have that foundation, not like if you fall, and even if it was you fall, there are people like they almost treat you like parents and kids. Like, you can almost tell when your child needs something. Your child, my son will be panting outside, and I'm fine. No, you need some water right now. Right. So they're able to be that for me, even when I don't see it. I'm just running, because that's what I know how to do. I'm gonna run and get it. But definitely, I said, let's center this and make sure everything is lining up with what I'm supposed to be doing biblically. And my mentor is huge. He's a pastor also. My mentor. He prays with me on the phone. We have virtual Bible study. He is on it. And it's like, in those moments, you get those extra words that you needed. Sometimes I don't need a whole consultation, 2-3 hours speak. It could be the 5 words at the end of the conversation that will just turn me from here to here, and I'm on the way. And it's going to bother me for the rest of the day. But it's a very, very major point. You know what I'm saying? And the love that you feel in church, it's something different if it's a good church. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm not saying that our church is better, but I love it, So yeah, I'm down with it 100%, but it's a very, very major part for me, at least. And the more I align, I realize like my consistency is better. And like that trend, you know what I'm saying? It's not like up, down. I don't want it to be like a heartbeat. You know what I mean? I kind of want the trend to just take its time, like stocks, and just go up. go up,
Absolutely.
and have that support. So
Be steady. Be steady. And
mhm.
so I also feel, and I'll just give you my last two, and then we'll segue into what you consider to be your comeback story. Through my journey, I felt that another cornerstone to getting your comeback, making a comeback, is definitely you've hit it already, but definitely having those right resources. And so resources can be people, they can be tangible things, right? And so making sure you are aligned with those right resources. But along this journey, I realized, like, Jazz, you were right next to, you had the right resource, but did you know how to use it effectively? Like, that was where you went wrong. You did not use that resource effectively. Like, I can be brought to something, but then did I know how to use it effectively? And so those two things go hand in hand. You have to have the right resources, but not just have them. You got to know how to work it. You got to know how to use them effectively. And then my last cornerstone to a comeback is you have to be willing to put in the necessary work to get to your
I
goal.
can't wait till you read my book.
I am on it. I am
I
on it.
can't.
And I'm excited to even get it. When I saw the title of it and I just saw like the teasers that you were doing, I'm like, I'm interviewing this man, and it's like he is talking about the same thing. Like he is just that's just it. It's just like it just aligned. And I was like, okay, that makes me even more excited to
Yeah.
even have this interview, because if you've been through some things, or if you, like you said, if you're not failing, then you're not succeeding. Like you're not going to get to the goal, and failure is a part of success
Hmm.
You can't have success with having failure, without having failure.
Absolutely.
And so I want you to tell me, when you think about it, like when I pitched this to you, I know that, and we stated this, a lot of people want to align with you. Like, you are a magnet for people because you inspire people. You are a person who is doing fantastic and phenomenal things in the community, and people see you hit this goal. They see you continue to put the checks in the check boxes, and you're continuing to go. And so I know, though, that it hasn't always been this way. So I want to dive into what you consider to be your comeback story.
So how far you want to go back? Because
As
there's
far
there's multiple levels of comeback story. So let's just say,
what gave you the grit?
I'm
Like,
33 years old. So my era, what would my era be considered?
33.
33. Yeah. So
You want the
I just
millennial.
turned 33 too. So let's not add no extra days.
I don't know if you were a millennial, if you were, I don't know. I don't know.
So my era, okay, let's see, let's go like high school. I'm talking about my high school era was terrible.
Okay.
Like I used to listen to like Plies and Frank Lennon, and I was so consumed in like the music and the message, and I just didn't know, I didn't understand that I was like training my
Yeah.
brain to vibrate on that frequency from getting. I've been locked up many times, convicted felon. Doors were closed for me that, trust me, and I like I said, I never pity party. A lot of people don't even know this, so I'm just giving you the sauce just because we talking about comeback. People want to see like where you coming from, you know. And I'm gonna just tell you right now, people see me, without me telling too much, people see me either I'm selling drugs or I'm silver spoon. Somebody's just
Yeah.
parents. I like, I got a source to money. That is absolutely not the case. I wish I would be at a different level. if, Trust me when I tell you, because playing with Uncle Sam is not.
Trying to tell you.
It's so painful, but I learned and I've grown. But like I say, man, I tell you, I've been locked up at school. I've been kicked out of Lake Gibson and Kathleen right here in Lakeland. It's been crazy, crazy. But it's like, to be where I'm at now, comeback story is, I believe, only matters when you come back. Right? If a druggie never makes it out to the other side to get clean, he can't have a comeback story. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. All the trying, and it just doesn't matter. If you want to lose weight, if you want to gain weight, if you want to get muscle, like, but you went to the gym once, them 2 gym pictures ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? They want to see those results. So what I tell people a lot is, sometimes people get too caught up in the fact that they think they need to come back. And for their definition of coming back is they believe like there was a point in time that they would like to get back to. And as we live our days day by day, I'm looking this way. I'm never looking to get back to no point in my life ever. There's not one moment in my life that I wish that I can get back to, right? I would like to move forward, but I'm not looking back. And again, it's good to document those situations when times get rough, though, because again, if you marry the concept of a better version of you, because again, it goes back to those conversations. I want to be a millionaire one day. I'm gonna do this one day. I just want to make enough money to do X, Y, Z and help. Like, you'll know if it's really truly you truly want to give, because you can give with what you have now. You know their actions will show right now. So I can honestly say there's never a moment, not one day ever, that I want to go back from. I've always want to move forward and look forward. But like I said, being locked up, man, I've been locked up so many times, and it's been ridiculous. And it's just like, it was a mindset shift for me. It's like, I'm getting these results doing this. What would happen if I dial it up and put my attention and focus into something else? And I tell people, and that's come from somebody that's ADHD, ODD, you know what I'm saying? So they say, right? I look at it as a superpower. My ability to think about everything, like as we're talking, everything is right here, and I can sort through everything that I need. And with my experience, the more experience I have in business, in coaching, and being coached, right, that I'm able to go through these things and make things line up and have solutions so much faster for myself, now. So that's what we do. We just move forward. We don't look back at anything. So jail, diagnose, and the medicine never really work. It makes you feel like a zombie. You don't want nothing going with your attention. Changing up my eating habits, and it really got me focused. And I start vibrating on a different frequency. And I'm like, man, people love to be around me.
Yeah.
How can I make more of that happen? That's what I want to pursue. I want to become a magnet. I want to live a life where my money is no good, right? Yeah. I want to do so much for people that they want to do for me. And accepting help has been something that I also talk about in my book, that I didn't know how to accept help literally till just recently. I'm the I got it type of dude, just because I've had so many in the past. And again, it's like past relationships. You don't want to just keep putting old drama on, but you should learn from it onto the new people. But it's like, I got it, because I can always depend on myself. I never felt like I could truly depend on other people, but it wasn't until I started delegating certain things and allowing people to do what their God-given gift is, what they're talented in, what they're specialized in, you know what I mean? And allow them to shine. And for me, not accepting the help, I understood what it felt like to give, and that feel like if I gave something to you, like the podcasting thing, I'm giving. I want to be able to give you something that it's not a payback. I'm not looking for you to pay me back or match my giving. But later on, when you're like way up, because you on the way up, absolutely, it's not a monetary situation. It could be a phone call, just like somebody had a conversation with you. You could say, hey, I got a guy named Mike. I think you guys should just meet and have some lunch, and that turned into $1 million conversation between me and that individual. Didn't cost you anything. The chances of me getting into the room with them slim to none, but they're high school friends with you, or an old guest or something of that nature, So
now you are speaking right now.
Yeah. Yes. So it coincides with that. So again, let's go back to the comeback story. Like, I don't give it that much attention, right? Who I was got me where I'm at. And if I don't currently like where I'm at, I can't focus on who I was. I need to attract. And once I learn to put out into the universe, like they said, closed mouth don't get fed. If I don't say, hey, I need help with this, and be specific, you need to be able to say to a T, like just like to your kids, just like with your spouse, just like with your employees, you need to say, hey, do a good job today. No, I need you to pick up this garbage, put this out, put the bag back into the you need to lay it out to be simple. That way people can better help you and assist you, because now they know exactly what you want. I need some help with some money. Is that $100? Is that $1,000? Is that $25? What does that look like? And when you're more open with that, then people can start pouring in. And then I found this hack, which I'm gonna give you also, that's in the book. I have a little algorithm hack that I have figured out a way to attract just about every single thing that I want to myself.
Okay.
Just by putting it out there. So we all know that our phones are listening. We all know that, like, the minute you type in relax room, then you're going to get ads for massage chairs. If you type in a new laptop charger, you're going to get they're going to just kill you with it. So depending on what I need, I search it, whether I'm ready for it or not. Podcasting 101, how to save money on my employees, how to save on my employee tax rate, XYZ, how to make my time more efficient, whatever that looks like. I put it out there. And now I have people that's competing for my attention through ad spend that they pay to be in front of you because they're paying for these keywords.
Right.
And they're fighting for my attention. And I get to sit back. And when I go through my Pinterest, when I go through my Facebook, everything that says sponsored and suggested is something that's uplifting me. It could be 2 a.m. and I say I want to look at my phone. I'm being spoken to by the universe, right? Feeding me what I want. And the more I draw near to that, there's progress. Now, as long as there's progress, I'm excited. I'm staying inside. It's like when you start seeing the weight come off, you start seeing the gains, you start seeing things start shaping it up. It's like, man, I'm feeling this. People giving you compliments, man. You looking good, man. I see you. I see what you're doing, man. I heard, because that's the main thing. I heard, I heard something, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I'm like, okay, I'm getting real excited now. I'll start, you know what I'm saying? Start getting in that zone. And that's what we wouldn't be having this conversation. If I didn't commit. Right. So like I say, when as far as coming back, and again, a lot of people, I would say they have some terrible past stories, like terrible, and I feel like they marry that more than they marry their future self. And it's in 2024, there's almost no situation that you can possibly imagine. And it can be as gruesome as you can think, people losing limbs, as crazy as you can think about, that is not a success story. Did 40, 50 years in prison and they become amazing. Kill somebody, they become amazing. Missing arms and limbs, they become amazing. Rape, whatever, as gruesome as you can get.
Right.
There's a powerful, powerful story behind it, or I would say in front of it, because people have decided to not become a victim and change their whole mind frame on the situation. How can I step more into my purpose? Yes, this happened to me. Yes, I did this. Yes, these things aren't the way I would like them to be, but I don't answer to that name anymore. I'm no longer stepping in that direction. A drug dealer can't wake up and become a drug dealer one day and claim that. You have to do these things every day, right? If I want to be a basketball player, if I want to lift weights, I got to do these things every day. So I'm choosing who I want to be every single day. And that's what continually brings the progression and really stirs the pot to grow more. You know what I mean? So once you can, I guess you'd say, divorce that comeback story, document, because it'll matter when you matter. When you truly matter and overcome, then it'll matter so much more, because people will start to dig into you and want, let me see what makes this guy tick. How did he come up? Where did he get his frame of thinking? It's not so much about the murder. It's about the premeditation. What was he thinking about before he decided to execute these goals and try these things? And that's the value. So definitely document the downtime, but focus on that next chapter.
So with the formula of definitely having God, definitely having the resources and knowing how to use them effectively, and just being able to put in the necessary work, it is all on an upward,
Well, I would pause and say,
trajectory for that.
Everybody can't get the resources.
Now, I will say, and so everybody can get to God, though, right?
Absolutely.
So that's why I start there.
Yeah, you can access God, but not the resources.
That's why I start there, because I feel like once you are connected, once, how you say, you put it out there in the universe and you are thinking about it, you are drawing those things to you through your thought, through the things that you put out there. You have a strong foundation with God, and then that's when your resources start to come. And I say that because I was in like heavy meditation when I even wanted to do this podcast, because I was just like, well, what is this podcast going to be about? And I took it out of the page of my own book, because I was in COVID. I was not one of these people that was a mover and a shaker. I was going through hell during COVID.
Oh
During
yeah.
COVID was my weakest time ever. And it was just like, I did ask the question, why in the hell is this happening to me? Because it just does not, it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. Like, I didn't see the purpose of it then. It's like I felt that I was like a seed being buried, being covered in dirt. Like, that is the analogy that I give myself. But that entire time that I was there, I was growing. So I wasn't doing all of these great things, like how people say, well, if you didn't move and shake during COVID, then it's just not in you. And I was like, dang, is it just not in me? Because it's like I was thinking about all of these things. It was burning, like it was pervasive, just nagging at me, waiting to get out. And I had to get over what you were saying. I have to get over what I'm going through now. Like, I have to get over this detrimental time, and I have to put it into perspective, because yes, it is happening to me, but I know that God has a reason why it is happening to me. So learn from it, and then you grow. You know what I mean? And so that's where this concept for me was the power of the comeback, in terms of it, where it personally affected me. But I always called my son my comeback kid, just like with my kids at school, because I was a principal, assistant principal, etc. And we had kids who were in the lowest 25%, and I used to always call them my comeback kids. And so, like, no, you don't go with the failure of the score that you just got. What you focus on is what your next goal is. And so, how are you going to go to that next level? You call it moving forward. I call it, you have experienced this success. You know what that feels like. So let's get back to that. How are you going to get back to feeling successful? So this is the strategy that you need to go for. And I use that analogy of, okay, we are in a game. I use a basketball game or a baseball game, where it's like, okay, you may have been up. Your team may have been up. You've trained just like this other team has trained. You guys have put in countless hours, but you guys are making stupid mistakes. You guys are letting the other team get the better of you. And what are you going to do to come back? You know what I mean? Like, you have to outsmart your opponent. You have to make smart plays. I don't know what the Gators were doing the other day. I know I'm going to get some slack for that, but I don't know what they were doing in that game. But
Yeah.
they tried to do a little comeback, but I equate it to that model. And so when I hear stories like yours, Michael, and I'm just like, okay, you literally are not even you literally are having like all of these odds against you, whereas not only were you a convicted, you were a convicted felon even in high school, but you also were going through a situation where you like you said, ODD, when you say ADHD, like you are struggling on a mental front, where you're trying to get self-regulation down, to a science where you can actually function at a higher order, right? And so I look at you, and it's like, for me, it is that in between, that it's just like, okay, was it just your mindset? Because how do you go from being a convicted felon to you are buying up the block? You know what I mean? Like, you say you ain't selling no drugs,
Yeah.
you're not.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you get from this point to that point? Yes, your mind has to be there, but it's like, I know guys who watch this, because I saw somebody who had tuned in when I was on my phone. I'm like, oh, he's listening today, so he must really be interested in Mike. So I'm like, how do you get there? And it's like, I know people who were in the drug game too, and they're on the straight and narrow now. Like, they are some of the most successful people. Like, I just had a builder that was on my show. He won all these awards in the Parade of Homes, where no other Black builder has ever won these awards. He went to prison for drugs, and he's like, he learned so much. He used those resources from people who had white collar crimes when he was locked up with them. He just soaked up all of that knowledge, coupled with going back to his family business, because his dad is actually a builder. And it's like, he is doing what you're doing. Like, he literally is buying up the block, but he's doing it in construction, and he's he's that guy. So I'm like, but what is it? How do you move? And especially you as a man, because I have two sons, and it's like, I want to be able to just sit them down and just say, look, sons, like, even if you don't go to college, you have to make sure that you're able to do this. And one of them does struggle with ADHD. And this was like a prolonged diagnosis. So it's just like you saying that.
Mhm.
Now I know this was a God-given time, because it's like this is something that we are just now going through.
Mhm.
But I'm like, what in the heck is going on?
Mhm.
Like, who? So seeing you and hearing you say that, and I hope he's listening, because I always try to get him to be
Yeah,
on
yeah.
podcast. So I'm just like, I want to be able to tell them, look, this is what you have to do. Like, yes, you have to manifest it. You have to want it. You have to have that grit. You don't give up on it. But literally, Mike, like, how in the hell do you have a whole plaza right now? How
So
do you have such a loving family right now? How do you have a community that
Mhm.
supports you, media that is after you? What is it? Because you
So
gotta have
I'll
a
tell you
media.
this.
Get it.
I'm gonna see if I can break it down to you, so without I have to kill him with a crazy long story.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot. But it's that it's in the transition that there's the most friction. Okay? When you decide, like, it's like going out in the beach when that waves is coming at you. It's like until you make it past that little sandbar right there, when things calm down a little bit, like getting out there is the hardest.
Yeah.
And again, I just had to evaluate, and it really came to the point where I'm looking myself in the mirror and I'm like, we got to do something different.
Yeah.
You know, I'm experiencing everything that I've done up to this point, to me, hasn't worked, and it's not what I'm proud of, or it's not something that's giving me fulfillment. And there has to be a formula to this. And I will say, I call it professional pocket watcher. I used to be a professional pocket watcher, and I
Yeah.
say that just to bring some clarity to people. When I was looking at those gurus, wink, wink. Oh man, take my $5,000 course. You know, we're gonna have a mastermind, and you need to pay to be here. So I'm like, $5,000. There's gonna be 50,000 people here. There's gonna be 10,000 people. These people making too
They're
much
making
money.
some
I
money. Yeah.
can't. I was so stuck on the money that they were gonna make, instead of shifting my attention to the change that they could have on me, because they have experience.
Right.
Right? You're 136 episodes in, right? Would you consider yourself an expert at podcasting?
I would not.
Oh, but
I would not. But I do have
if
some
I wanted to
recipes,
start
and I
my
can tell
podcast
you-
today,
I can tell you something. I can tell you how to do it, and we can get it cracking. So,
why would
yes,
it be wrong that you charge me $1,000 for that? That's going to save
it will
me
not.
2-3 years
It will.
of, you got somebody that's going to hold your hand,
Yes.
and and you almost don't. And here's the thing: there's a lot of free information out there. You're not going to respect the free information till you truly pay for one.
Right.
You have to pay for it at least once, for all those conversations. Like, man, this person was dropping bombs. He told me this during a haircut before. I heard this online, because a lot of the gurus are giving out so much free information right now. You go mad. Like,
Right.
it's that we are in the information era. So because I had to sit back and evaluate myself. So let me back up again. Here's Mike getting locked up, doing all these crazy things. You know, now I'm a barber at this point. I would say I'm washing cars. I'm a barber. This is like the DVD era. Like, oh, we still got DVD. I'm hustling. I'm doing the hoverboards, the fidget spinners, the iPhone chargers. I'm buying stuff wholesale, selling them. Just like, I got to make a move, right? I said, man, I need to get everything in order. And this comes down to the women also. I need to get everything in order. I can't build in 50 different places. And I mean, like, 50 different women. I can't have 10% with her, 50% with her, 30% over here. And I got to the point where I had standards. So like, my credit was good. Like, I can't even mess with nobody that the credit wasn't good, because it's going to put me in a bad situation.
Right.
I said, instead of me teaching all these women how to fix their credit because I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said, let me see what would happen if I put 110% into one woman.
Okay.
Hence my wife.
I know that's right.
Right?
Oh, that's right.
And I'm not all over the place. I'm not going crazy. I said, let me start. I need to build a foundation right here that we can grow this thing. Okay. So secondly, wife, God, wife. The next thing would be for me was, I know myself, because don't nobody know you better than you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With me knowing myself, I'm going to lose interest right now. Like, right now, I'm going to lose interest. I'm not even going to wait 5 minutes. I lost interest already. Right?
Yeah.
Because I know that just like you would set somebody up for murder, you got to set yourself up for success. You got to put the fingerprints and put things in your way. So on your way out the door, you have something that's going to like, oh, I do need to get into that. All right, let me get into this a little bit. Oh, these videos. So I started subscribing to all of these different people that no matter what, I used to be into cars, guns, bikes. Every time I go on my Instagram, it's bikes, cheeks, cars. That's it.
Yes.
And we keeping it 100%. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But now, if I go on to any, I'll tell you everybody, you open your social media and go through Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook and look for sponsored. The first thing that says suggested and sponsored tells you exactly who you are, right? Because you're giving it attention.
Right.
It's going to keep feeding you. It's not in their best interest to feed you something that, if I'm a foodie, don't show me car stuff. I don't care about that. I want more food. If I'm a car guy, don't show me no food stuff. Like, they want what they want. And as long as they can keep you on what you want, then they can add the ads to the stuff that's already holding you. So with that information, now I said, okay, let me set myself up. And that's what I did. I started unfollowing the accounts that I don't need, following all the things that will pour into me, how to start a business legit, how to get the LLC, what corp do I need, S corp, what do I need to do, who do I need to speak to, who is doing it at a high level. I don't want to just follow the.
These sound so much like some resources to me.
Oh yeah. Oh, facts. So really so I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And again, in the beginning, it's the hardest because you start working out for 2 weeks. You're not like, man, I'm not swole yet, right? All this sweat, but I don't see what I need to see.
All this soreness.
Yeah, I'm walking like an old man to all these squats, and I can't. I'm not seeing it. So I just weathered that. And soon as you start seeing, because you got to have that carrot in front of you, you know what I mean? Yeah. Soon as I start catching those results and those things started opening me. So we opened 5 businesses in 5 years. Okay. A year after year. And it was the barbershop 2019, the smoke shop 420, 2020, the heart of COVID, right? You couldn't even come in. I'm gonna just tell you this. I had to buy CBD hand sanitizer because if you weren't selling essential items, people couldn't come into your store.
Oh, wow.
So I said, I got to find me some hand sanitizer to sell. They even try to get me for price gouging because of the price of the product, which is the true price,
right?
$15 for this thing, but it's because of what it is. But with that, I was able to legally have people come in, put the little tape on the floor, 6 feet apart, got the mask on. We got the little shield up like the gas station. What would you like today? You know what I'm saying? So And so, like, once I start seeing the results of these things, I was like, I'm on fire now. So that's what really kind of ramped it up for me to just push forward. I had a mentor by that time. I've paid $5,000 for a credit course. I've paid multiple $1,000s between courses and just little things and resources. I'm not scared, and I'm 100% for paying for information, because you skip, like, if this is the box, you just go like this. I don't have to go up here, then think, and then wait. No, bro, you go right over, and they'll help you. So, especially for ADHD, I would say excitement. If you're not excited about it, I lost interest immediately. Yeah. But the more exciting, I won't be able to sleep. The minute somebody gives me a nugget and I have an aha moment, I'm like this.
Yeah.
I can't even I can't put it down. There's nothing that's going to take me away from it. I need to finish this, and I need to put this into action right now. So I would say
that's your superpower. Like, you are right. Like that's your superpower.
Yep. Yeah. And then when you have people that's truly in your corner, that'll call you out, right? They'll call you out like, hey, slacking, what's up? What's going on? Da 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 da. They kind of help. I call them like the ping pong, the ping pong in life. They'll kind of keep you straight, bouncing in the right direction. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing, and then the next thing I said, I became as useful as possible. You must have use. That's another chapter. Like, everybody want, like those resources and things you're talking about. Like, you're very useful. You have a platform for people to come on and express themselves, talk their story, and connect with your listeners. My listeners can come on and connect with you. It's almost like a feature. It works together. Right. So the more useful you become, when people find use in you, they'll come over.
Yeah.
they'll find their way over there. I need to get around this guy because this guy got something that I can. So I always try to gear up the way I can give. And would you believe me if I told you I literally created Relax Room to be able to give me the biggest flex to give? Because I've done events with the barbershop and the smoke shop, and it comes at the expense of me buying this for $1 and giving it away. My barbers having to spend their time that they could have been making money, having a free day that we're all giving together. Now they're tired. Now I have a business that I pay my light bill, and I'm able to give these people the woo-saw moment. That's like, man, I can't believe I just had this experience. You don't even know the day I've had. It's plenty of times that the moms will bring their sons in to get their hair cut, and I'll be cutting their hair, and I'll look and I'll say, you got 20 minutes? Oh yeah, I got 20 minutes. What's up? Let me walk you down here and show you something. Put the minutes. By the time I'm done, or one of my guys get done with them, they're thinking about their husband, who can they bring in, you know what I mean? And I've made such an impact on their day. That's my reason behind it. And that's how the monopoly really starts, because you have to give.
That's incredibly smart though. Like I did not know the story behind it. Of course, this is my first time getting to interview you. First of all, I used to see it. Like I saw the advertisements for the Relax Room, but just hearing your thought process of why you even did it, and then like the businesses that you have associated even around it in the plaza.
Yep.
That makes so much sense.
Yep. So the Relax Room is the first in the nation zero gravity massage chair lounge, and I take full pride in that. You can look it up till you red in the face. You will not find 2021 August a Relax Room that's a complete experience. Now, we didn't invent the chairs, but we did create that ambiance and experience, and we birthed this out of COVID. People were so stressed out. I used to ride motorcycles and stuff, so I fell off my bike over 100 miles an hour. I always have back pain. And it got to the point where it's like I'm needing a massage for my wife every single day, and it's not just a feel good, it's like a pressure release. So I sat in one of those for the first time, and there go my mind. I'm like, oh. So my wife looking at me like, don't do it. I'm like, how can I put this in the barbershop? How can I? I'll tell you, when we have those ideas, we're going to sign the lease. At every business I've ever done, we've signed the lease first and we figured it out. So again, let's talk about that wow factor. I never owned a barbershop before, never owned a smoke shop before, never used 99.9% of the products in there ever. The Relax Room, never been done. We just made it up, right? The ice cream, never. We serve Amish ice cream. So I did that because I had this moment in mind. Like, so when people hear these things, or maybe he got a background in these things, maybe he specialized in these things, maybe he's worked there. I've never worked there. Only thing I've ever done prior to this is a barber, and I've cut a lot of hair between Tampa and Lakeland, and I still didn't even take that to its full extent because I went ahead and bought a barbershop and got up out of there. You know what I'm saying? It's like my time is limited behind the chair. If I'm not doing this, I'm not making money. So how can I make money and pursue these goals and dreams without doing these things? So I wanted to make the story as crazy as possible so people can say, I can learn something new, try something and step into it and be good at it and become a part of the conversation. People coming in to me to tell me who's my competition. Well, Massage Envy. Oh, you got to watch out for this shop. I said, the fact that you even haven't saying my name right now.
Yes.
It's the
That's the whole point.
So it just kind of it brings it together. So that's just one of the things for that change. Just to have that change. Anybody can change. People, you have to just unmarry. You got to divorce the old you. You got to have the funeral. Say goodbye to the old me. I don't answer to these names anymore. And it's not even. You don't even have to give it any thought at all. Once you take on that new identity and start stepping in a new direction, your whole life is going to change. Once you change your everyday, it will change. Why do you think when people have divorces and stuff, they start losing a bunch of weight? They start doing all these things they should have been doing. You know what I mean? Why? Because their everyday has changed. When somebody passes away, man, I got to do it different. Your everyday has changed. Oh, my house burnt down. So you no longer can have memories in this house. It's no longer there. Now I got to move and make memories in a new place. Your everyday has changed. So as long as you just focus on changing something, you change your everyday your motion, it's a wrap. And then you'll have these success stories. You're talking about man, I remember I XYZ, or these things happen, or when that era is when I was at my lowest. And that's just to connect. We really only say these stories to connect with people that may be in that spot, or they're in that mode or on the fence, you know what I mean? But I'm telling you right now, like I say, if I say it and I became a man of my word, and I know it's not something that's that common anymore, but
it's not.
It's not. But
It's not.
but when it's not, we know not to deal with those people.
Absolutely.
And people think it's not me that people are in love with. They don't love Mike. They love the fact that it's been 5 years and I haven't closed anything. I sold my smoke shop, but I didn't lose my smoke. You see what I'm saying? I didn't like there was no major failure as far as like things that something crazy happening. It's like, how is this guy still doing this?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so there's discipline that comes along with it. So through Snapchat, through Instagrams, through Facebook, and I post a few things here and there, it's like, this man really still doing this.
Really?
It's the discipline that they're in love with. It's the connections. It's the doors that they see opening for me from everybody. Well, I'm not going to say everybody, but most people has Mike used to cut my hair in the chair in the back. Then he bought it. Then he started doing all these things. Then he started moving next door. Like, that's a very, very common story, because again, I was pitching my ideas. That I was just practicing my pitch. I'm not one to play. If I say I'm gonna do it, some things may take a little longer. Granted, things happen, storms happen, and the coolest. Let's talk about the storm real quick. The coolest thing about the storm is it'll expose your weak points.
Yeah,
and we all have them. Yeah. And it's sometimes we need that. We need to get shaken up. There's old trees that do need to be taken down because they're going down.
Yeah.
Regardless, you know what I mean? There's certain things need to happen to shake that up for you to start reevaluating everything, because we get in this mode where we hanky pankying along and we think it's all good, and then when something else happens, it's more devastating.
Right.
So we all need a little bit of water in our house to like, man, I need to rethink my direction, or having certain things in certain places, or how do we move forward, because this is a possibility that this can happen again, so
that's very true. That's very true. So you I'm gonna tell you, just listening to you, and like at the very beginning of this podcast episode, you stated that you have to know how to market yourself. You have to know how to tell that story, how to sell yourself is what you said. You have to know how to sell yourself. And I have talked to tons of people. Like, tons of people have given me motivation. Tons of people have inspired me. It's an intrinsic thing for you to be motivated. Like, you have to motivate yourself, right?
Yeah.
So just listening to you, you haven't really said anything. Here's the thing. You haven't necessarily said something that I haven't heard before, but it is in your passion and it is in your delivery that it hits different. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know what? I need to go back. I was just like, in my brain, I'm like, like 1, 2, 3, this is what you're going to do. Like, I'm going to go back to writing down like my manifestations, like just writing it down, like, write it down, make the vision plain, and just hitting it. Because it's just like when I used to see it, like these things that I want to do, just like following this philosophy of, it's like you write it down 9 times. You write it down 6 times before you go to bed, and then it's like you repeat it, right? So I was going through that method and I was like on fire. And it's just like, you're saying be relentless with it. You're saying be consistent with it. You're saying being a man of your word. And for me, being a woman of my word is just as important as a man saying I have to be a man of my word. And it's just something that you have just sparked in me, like with this conversation. And a lot of people, you have it. You're on it. This is your mission. This is how you live. This is your way of life. This is how your commitment works. And it's like, whereas people don't understand with me, I do this, but inside of me, it is something that is just so level where it's just like, listen, get back on what you need to do. It is something that's so steady in me that we go to my highs and then we drop it to my lows. It is something that is just so steady in me. And it probably doesn't look like that. It looks like this. Like it's going slowly. And it's just like, that is just me. That's how I work. And so I'm on one of these right now. Like I'm hitting
Yeah.
one of these. So it's like with this episode, I have to take advantage of that. And I stopped because I wanted you to like really, really know that. And I'm not saying that just because you're
No,
on
for sure.
this podcast. I'm saying it because you actually did evoke it. You know, it's just like, okay, this guy is definitely what you are right with that. We haven't seen you fail, Mike. We haven't seen you fail. But in this episode, I know that even if you do fail at something, I just know that you're going to bounce. You're going to do what you need to do.
Yep, and pivot.
That goal, like you're going to pivot, like you said, like you're gonna get it. And so, I just want to say thank you for like inciting that.
Absolutely, it's just all perspective, you know. And I feel like one of my God-given gifts is helping people have the aha moment.
Yeah.
See, in the aha moment, I don't have to truly teach you anything because just like you said, there's nothing new under the sun. But it's that shift in perspective.
Right.
That it's like you never looked at, you always look at it this way. You never really looked at it like this. And it just sheds a whole different light on it. And if you ever have you ever wondered why they asked you to write it down 9 times? Because anybody, I wouldn't even just say America, the whole world, everybody's fighting for your attention.
Right.
You open your phone, you're gonna have 150 thoughts in the first 30 to 60 seconds. You are reacting. That's all it takes. You open your phone and you can see something devastating, like with the hurricane. You see somebody's house underwater, your heart dropped. You just started your day, your heart dropped. Not saying it's wrong to feel for them people, but maybe you had an important meeting to go. And there's a guy named Bedros Koulios, this big, swole. This guy, he talks to you straight. He's a business owner and a coach and stuff like that. And he taught me something really valuable. He said, I schedule all my phone calls, period.
Oh, wow.
No matter what. Does not matter when, you still have your wife, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, it's scheduled. Why? Because somebody can call you, say, I have this meeting today. I could have just got some devastating news on the phone just because I took the phone call and it affects me. Or let's say my buddy tells me, yo, Mike, I hit the jackpot, bro. I'm a millionaire. I'm gonna be so excited. I'm gonna be like, let's hurry up and get this thing going because it will affect you. Just like you pick your music before you go to the gym, you want to get in that mood and you have to start controlling your mood as much as you can. Mm-hmm. So first thing when I wake up, I do look at my phone because I'm trying to show that I'm up and drop some motivation, but then that's it. I'm not consuming, you know what I'm saying? I'm producing. I'm not going to consume all these different, oh, the baby's cute. Oh, the this and, oh man, I can't believe that happened. Babe, look what happened to their house. Like you're having an emotional roller coaster every single time, or somebody could say something that provokes you. Right? Just upset your spirit, man. Somebody put something in this group and you're just like, man, I give them a piece of my mind, So if you can just control that I'm not letting these things get into this headspace when I'm focused on my visions and my goals and the mission that I'm on. And as long as you help other people, that's exactly what I'm doing. I want to be in position to help more people. If I can help you with your vision, the money's going to come to me. The connections are going to come to me. The people are going to come to me. It's going to happen. And I don't give selfishly to say you owe me.
Yeah.
It's not monetary value. I give because I know if I can impact this person's life in any way, shape, or form. I don't want you to say because of Mike, I'm this. I don't care for that. It's cool, but I'm not in it for that. Mm-hmm. I know you. I truly know what it feels like to go from this to this, to be here and to get over here where I couldn't even think on that. Like, you stop eating certain fast food. You can't even pay me to do that. You see what I'm saying? So when you make up your mind to, and it comes down to believing, when you truly inside of yourself believe like, yo, I'm gonna be a millionaire. Oh, I'm gonna walk this walk. I'm gonna talk this talk. I'm gonna do this thing. My thing is gonna be like this. I'm gonna have these people on my show. I'm gonna shake this hand. Like when you walk and step into that, you'll attract it. And it almost has no choice but to happen or die. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna die working on this.
And that's it. And
that's it. Yeah. And people, they're just not that serious about it. It's a business owner and all this stuff. And it's really the facade of it, why they want to do it. They see you doing it. They don't know the time, the makeup, the setup, the lighting. It gotta be right. The multiple platforms that you gotta have to be able to stream across all. They all have to work. If the link is broken, they don't even begin to understand that. You know what I'm saying? But when you truly love that process, and I love it, like I have so much in work build content that I look back at. My son was this small, now he's 9. Now I have my other son, Junior. He's 14 months. I got baby girl on the way. Like I'm just so excited about that. Like I just wanna. That's why I'm going here, and I'm literally everybody's witnessing me pivot.
Yeah,
I'm going from security guard with all the keys because I've been building my story. Now I don't have to talk as much because most 90% of Lakeland has heard about me from either, and it's so crazy, from either being on the news from buying up the block, or when they broke into my store and I wrote Bible verses on my store and I told the news anchor, I said, I'm not giving you the story. I'm not going to play pity me, right? I'm not going to get on here and say, I wish, I don't care. Don't put me on the news then. If you're going to put me on the news, we're going to make it a positive message. And it's going to say a business owner pushes back against XYZ. And you're going to tell the story that I want you to tell it, not no foolishness, right? It comes down to your core values and the mission that I'm on. So I said, I have to act in that way to keep the vision going. And through those obstacles, I can help more people. So now I truly my coaching and consulting is what I love. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it because I could talk all day, And this book, my mentor, big shout out to my mentor. He told me, like, for this, I couldn't have this conversation all day, right? We already on here almost an hour and a half. I can't have this conversation all day. I just can't. And I'm not to say that you're not worth it, but I'm only helping one person per se when my vision is a lot of people. Yeah. So now 2 a.m. on vacation, when this is an audible ebook, you can take this and grow at your own rate. Find something that resonates with you, as simple as it is, nothing new under the sun, but it's something as simple as it is. Say, man, I didn't think about it this way, and you just be on fire for the rest of the week. And it's that itch, when somebody comes to you with that new get rich quick scheme, like, man, this do sound kind of good. I might need to do something. And you start telling your people, and it's a whole pyramid scheme. I know you signing up you bring in 5 people, then I'm gonna bring in 5 people, and then we gonna bring in 5 people. Right, So it's like, how do we chase that out on something that's real? And that it just gets me fired up. I'm so excited about that. And I don't want to do nothing. That's another reason why I sold the smoke shop. I don't want to do nothing that I don't truly believe in 1000%. Mm-hmm. I want to be straight across the board. So I don't want to be like all these famous people that's getting, all these scandals and things that's happening in the industry right now. Right. They're like, but they got the skeletons in the closet. Like, I want to make sure I'm straight all the way across the board. Right. And we're going to be pushing forward together. I don't want kids, like, if I'm going to represent these kids and this community, I want them to look up to me, not as, oh, he did a this and he did a that. Like, I'm so for the fact that I don't want to sell something that I truly don't believe in. Right. It was fun, and it's made me the most money and probably one of the most lucrative things I've ever did in my life. But no. And it's like other people are, if they're rocking the fence, now they get to witness somebody that's doing it at a high level. I'm out. Yeah, and you're out. I'm out. Yeah. That's everybody, awesome. They always ask me, like, you don't miss, like, it was cool. But yeah, if I really want, like, I'm local. Like, as much as people in New York love me, Texas, all these different places, like, unless you come to the north side of Lakeland and experience one of my businesses, you can't support me. Yeah. Now I can get into every state, every college. I have speaking gigs lined up at colleges. We're doing more podcasts. You know what I'm saying? I can truly start speaking this. And this is new for me too. Everybody's like, oh, you're just so natural at it. I watch videos on this. You got to know how to tell your story. Like, you have to proper preparation prevents poor performance. Absolutely. You need to prepare and line up. You can't just say, I want to be a CEO one day. I want to be Mr. Big Baller one day and just do that just so they can call me that one day. Nah. Yeah. Yeah. The late nights and early mornings is required. Required. That is. And then once you, yeah. It ain't gonna happen no other way, or you can't sustain it. You can get rich overnight, but you won't be able to sustain it. Right. So, and God ain't gonna give you more than what you can handle. And I feel like God will bless you with your ability to bless others. When people say it a lot. I can't wait to have money so I can bless all the. You not.
Yeah.
You can bless people with your time and your presence, a hand, a few words, a share, a like. There's
Speak. Speak on that.
there's so many ways to show love, you know what I'm saying, and give. If
Yeah.
you truly have a giving spirit, you know what I'm saying, like I really want to do this. But people, they just think that when they got it, I'm a and then they get it and they're like, it's all me right
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm saying? And he know your heart. So
listen, you and that's really what it is. It's about you wanted to do something, but you definitely having the genuine heart to do it. And people can sift through that. Like people know when you are doing something, you know, to be very genuine. People know. And I think if you're able to fool people, you're only going to fool them for a certain amount of time. You're not going to be able to carry that out for the long haul, you know. And so I'm amazed. I'm proud of you. You know, it's like I can't even say we go back in the day, Mike. I can't say any of that, but you just kind of give that vibe. Like for me, like I'm like on the sidelines, like cheering you on. Like I am proud of you. I'm proud because like I am in the field of inspiring kids and leading them to better futures. And I always like think them
they are future too.
They are. I always want to link them to people where it's like, look, this is what you can be. You don't have to be da 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 da. And even if you are the smartest of the smart, look at this guy. Like, how can you outdo him? Like,
exactly.
How can you do what you love? You are passionate about. You going with this mission of giving back to your community. How can you do it? How can you scale it higher than him? You know, like that would be my challenge when I introduce people who have these amazing stories and just are giving back to the community. And so I'm inspired by it. I thank you for it. Like I cannot wait to see you on November 9th from noon to 5.
For sure. Yes. Yeah.
At the podcast event. Make sure you bring some of those books. I want you to be able to I'm gonna let you advertise. I'm gonna introduce you and all of that good stuff and just
I'll go up there and speak. You know, it's so crazy. I spoke at the Well 2 years ago. And some of the girls that were at the event that you went to, I met them back then. And it's like, and it's just, and that's why you got to stay true the whole time, because you never know when people can just see in there and be like, oh, you really ain't who you say you are. So when they was telling me that, I'm in my night clothes, like coming to lock up, like, hey, hope y'all had a great time. Say, man, I remember, I already got your number. We connected years ago. Then, you know, and that was at the Well. Then I launched my book at the Well. So hey, listen, those people, I love them. That's what we're here for. That's definitely what we're here for. And to touch back on like the inspiring the kids, another part of my mission was I was cutting a kid, and he looked me in my face and he told me, he said, man, I feel like I need to get locked up. I said, what you say? He said, my older brother's been locked up before, and I remember you saying that you've been locked up before, and look what all these things you accomplished. And I feel like I have to do that in order to accomplish these things. And if that's the mentality that our youth is running with, we got to switch this up.
Yeah, we do.
Fast.
We do.
Fast.
Absolutely.
So, you know, that's another fire, you know, that's another, you know, more wood in the fire to kind of keep it like, man, I want to elevate to a level where, and that I can matter. Right. Yeah. The more I build my influence, the more I can apply that influence to certain things and things start to change. I don't complain about anything that I physically can't change. That's why I'm trying to grow as fast as I possibly can so I can have a voice and things move, things change, things happen, or we have funds to go into that direction and be able to. 501c3 is getting set up. You know what I mean? So once I get the nonprofit going, everything, we deep into the church, we deep into the community, and we just want to give back and have a safe place for people to grow. It's 2024. Things are different. You know, not as much kids get to just roam the streets and go play, right? And come back when the street lights come on. It's a different world, but we get in a position where me and a few other business owners pay for a space, that the space or church where people can come in, have an amazing time, experience all these things, and just grow completely different. Just grow differently, you know. And I feel like like the parents and the kids, the parents are upset with the kids because the parents are like, you never know what it was like growing up in my time, and the kids are like, you never know what it's like growing up in this time. They got challenges we never faced. Imagine if all these channels was out when we were younger. And I'm saying we were younger, like we the same age. Look at this, it's crazy. But there's differences, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it don't need to be like that. Everybody has a challenge. Everybody has a mountain. You know, I could be having a $25 problem. You could be having a $25,000 problem. You know, your mountain is your mountain. But when you rally around those and you get around those people, like it's like that one niece or nephew. If you got 4 or 5 uncles and aunties around you, how can that nephew starve?
Right.
We all got a place for this person to go. And it really comes down for those people who feel like they're truly alone in this world. You're not a good person. You can't be a good person because nobody want to bring you in.
That's deep.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah.
So it's like, what are you bringing to the table? And it doesn't have to be monetarily, but if you are truly a good person and you're not posting crazy, you're not, you're not going through this. People open arms. Oh man, something happened to you. You fell. Now listen, I didn't plan for this today, but come stay with me. Or they will open arms, make sure that whatever in their power they can do. And if you do it right, you have multiple people to give 5 instead of one giving 500.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So now it's like something light that we can all take care of instead of it being like, but you have to open up and get out there. You know what I'm saying? You got to act. You can't, it ain't just going to happen. But yeah, it's a blessing. I will say it's a blessing and it's worth it. Anybody that's on the fence of thinking about doing better, divorce your past. You don't matter. Yes. If we do like the Men in Black days and flashed it, you won't have no excuses. You won't know. What would you do today? Yeah. To move and push that vision forward? Who would you take with you? What does that look like? And there's plenty of help out there. You know, get in contact with me. You want to coach? Get a coaching session? I give you a coaching session. You want to buy my book? I got it on Amazon. You want a signed copy? We can work that out, and I'll sign this copy and ship it to you, or you can come pick it up at one of the locations that's in the same place.
Absolutely.
So we can make that happen for sure.
And it is going to happen. Listen, Michael, I appreciate your time. I really do. I want to introduce my kids to you. I'm going to talk to you off camera. We're going to set up some field trips. I'm inviting you to my school. I want to give you a personal tour of my school. I'm at Academy Prep Center of Lakeland, which is not too far from you. So I want my kids to be able to experience you. And we actually, I'm offering like a free vendor space anyway for my school to be there, because I want to be able to facilitate an environment where these kids can see people in work. Like, this is what Miss Bennett is asking you to become. Like, this is what you can become. So listen, we're gonna get that cracking. We really are. So if you want to be an author, we have an author in the building. You can go and talk to him, go pick his brain. Like,
and this is the first of many. I got like 4 more books that I'm working on. You know, the ideas are really, really swarming. And so before we get out of here though, I want you to promote. Tell us how we can get your book. You already said it was on Amazon, but if it is a direct link, give that. And then so my Instagram is Michael Norado. My Facebook is Michael Norado, Norado. Amazon, it'll be Michael Norado. And the book is called Keep Pushing Forward. I would love to invite y'all to come experience, because, you know, it's one thing to hear somebody talk about it, or if you don't know me, come experience our businesses and see if it's what he says. You know what I'm saying? The Relax Room is 1326 West, 1330. I got so many addresses in the same place. It's 1322 West Daughtery Road in Lakeland. That's the Relax Room. The barbershop is Island Style Barbershop, 1330 West Daughtery Road. The ice cream is World of Cones Ice Cream. That's 1334 West Daughtery. We're working on a restaurant that's going to be going next door. Writing more books. It's a lot going on, but we do events and stuff like that for kids and stuff all the time. Come through. If you have platforms, also invite me. I will definitely come. This we're spreading the love. But the book, like I said, this ain't no get rich quick slink. You know, this is a hit in the mouth. Okay, and this is real stuff. It's not too big. It's not too long. And if you don't read books, it's a good time to get in, because knowledge is key. and it'll take you places. You'd be surprised how much knowledge are in books, and people just don't take the time to read it, and they want people to just give them the answers. And my mentor always say, just put some work in front of them, give it to them. Now, if I put this in your hand, now what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things that marry that future. And if you want it, connect with people like me, like you, that are already doing these things. It's 2024. Don't reinvent the wheel. We all have great ideas, but inventing something should not be your first go round. You know what I mean? Because there's too many things out here that you can jump on the bandwagon with and make some money, make a way to be able to try or invent that thing later. But you get in the room with these people, beautiful things happen. So yeah, Michael Norado, matter of fact, go follow my Instagram, because I guess I picked all the wrong businesses to get into, to want to live a private life and not like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I picked the wrong stuff. So so yeah, Michael Norado, tap it, click it. We do giveaways and stuff all the time. We'll connect, and yeah, let's do that.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And so thank you so much for being my special guest on the Jazzie Conversations with Jazz podcast for episode 136. Like, I have enjoyed this conversation. I can't wait, because what I do is I play it back in the car. So instead of listening to the Breakfast Club in the morning, this is going to be my morning inspiration. And
I'm gonna go ahead and say good morning.
Yes. Exactly. That's what we're gonna do. So listen, you are now a part of my Jazzie crew. I cannot wait to see you at my 3-year podcast anniversary live show going down November 9th from noon to 5 at the Lakeland Well, 114 East Parker Street here in Lakeland, Florida. So make sure you are there. We have food trucks, vendors. We are going to have live entertainment. We're going to have live interviews. We have a live DJ Ken Blaze will be on the 1s and 2s. It's going to be like a family affair. Inspired. It's going to take you to be motivated. And so I just want you to be in the place. Tickets are available on eventbrite.com. Can't wait to see you. Michael's going to be there. Bring the whole family. Like this.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll bring my people for sure.
Yeah, make sure you are in the
How much are the tickets?
So general admission is $35 on Eventbrite, and the VIP tickets are $50. So get your tickets, and I will see you on November 9th. And
Absolutely.
All right. So make sure you are a part of the Jazzie crew. All you have to do is make sure you are subscribing. You are following me like this. It's on YouTube right now, airing live. It's on IG, airing live. And it's also on my 2 Facebook accounts, airing live. You can also catch past episodes on your favorite podcast streaming platform. That's at Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. Make sure that you share this, you like it, you leave us a review in the comment section, and I cannot wait to see you back here next Monday, back at the regular time at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will see you later, Michael. Thank you so much. And
for sure.
Good night.
Absolutely. Good night. Y'all be safe.
Night. I appreciate you.